The following is not a confirmation of the identity nor the location of Raxxla. This video is made using items from other Elite games to form speculation on the topic that is Raxxla. If you are offended by speculation, monologues, Rosie O'Donnell time travel poetry, people discussing Raxxla or discussing the Dark Wheel, then go watch something else. The following video has been made by request from a group of people who wish to remain anonymous. Their spokesman identifies as what is now on your screens. They do not necessarily reflect the views of this channel. However, I do think it holds enough weight as a theory for me to cover. The Stellar Forge is the system that was used to generate the galaxy. It was used to generate roughly 400 billion star systems, which are present in a 1-for-1 scale of the Milky Way galaxy. As far as I understand this simulation, it started with a blank canvas, for which firstly they added the stars that have been mapped in real life via astronomical observations, and those stars that the devs added manually for currently unknown purposes or for lore reasons. They then used procedural generation to fill the galaxy out with the rest of the stars that we see in the game. This procedural generation is governed by certain laws which attribute the star density to each part of the Milky Way. If you jump into a system that has never been discovered before, a set of numbers are generated which accounts the details of the procedural generation of this system. The procedural generation of this system is governed by astronomical observations of our own solar system in real life. These factors decide the type of planet, its distance from the star, how big it is, how many moons it has, and what it's made of. The procedural generator also makes a system abiding to certain laws that are governed by the type of the star, the size of the star, and the position within the galaxy. Once Stellar Forge has generated the system that you are in, a set of random numbers is generated and stores that identifies the layout of the system you have just discovered. This set of numbers identifies to other users how the system should be laid out. No data is stored other than the code that was generated. It has worked very similar to this since 1984. This is why David Braben, all hail his blessed name, is such a chad. Certain systems that are in the game exist within the real universe, and as such exist within this game as they would in real life. Proxima Centauri is a small, low-mass star located 4.2 light-years away from the Sun in the southern constellation of Centaurus. This star orbits Alpha Centauri A as part of the Alpha Centauri system. This is in the game as it should be, although certain liberties are taken as to the amount of planets that orbit this star. For instance, Proxima Centauri currently has 2 confirmed exoplanets in real life. The second was confirmed in 2020, but in the game it only has 1. This is because the second planet was discovered after the game was released. Whether they intend to align current stellar maps of the Elite Galaxy with our current understanding of the real galaxy is unknown. Certain systems, such as the Mahen star system or the Ley star system, have been added to the game as either part of the storyline of the game or for unknown reasons. Other systems, such as systems marked with HD, HIP or 2-mass, are real-life astronomical observations. For instance, systems marked with 2-mass at the start of their name are part of the 2-micron All-Sky Survey, or 2-mass. This was an astronomical survey of the whole sky in the infrared. It catalogued 300 million stars in our galaxy. Another example of something like this would be HIP. HIP, standing for Hipparchus, was a scientific satellite of the European Space Agency launched in 1989. This satellite measured more than 100,000 stars, and those observed by this satellite are marked with HIP at the start of their destination. This is where it gets gamma ray heavy, folks. If you would like to put your tinfoil on, you can find this to the rear of your seat in front of you. You have been warned. Like mentioned before, some of the systems that are within this game are there because of real life astronomical observations. The team involved would pick one tiny point of the sky and find multiple stars. If you add these to an empty galaxy devoid of stars, your brain would see lines, cylinders and other objects that conform loosely to what you're looking at. An example of this is the star 2 mass J04474716 plus 1103164. Around this star is other objects that have been observed by the 2 mass survey. Collectively, they form the loose shape of a cylinder, but this is because the area of the sky that was observed was a tiny pinpoint and would have formed a cylinder if you were to take out all the other real life stars around it. Going back on how the galaxy was made in Elite Dangerous, they would have added the known stars in real life before applying procedural generation to fill the gaps. The data of these real life surveys would have created a uniformity to the compositions of these stars before the procedural generation was done, because the observation was done by a human. They would have observed a selection of stars in a tiny area with infrared and then moved on to a new area, all from the orientation of the planet Earth. Again, apply the procedural generation on top of known star systems and these areas form patterns in a very similar way to how you see objects in the formations of clouds. This is known as pareidolia. Another so-called formation that has been observed as part of the 2 mass project are directly behind Gamma Velorum. Now with all this in mind, here is where it gets weird. Select the star system Col 70 sector PC-U C3-5. Now align the camera so that you are facing the star and the Sol system is just above the camera sight. You will see to the right of this star there is a line. If you follow this line after some time you will see a right angle. Col 70 is procedurally generated. Indeed, the name is man-made, but the layout of the stars is procedural. How is it that this area of space creates such a formation, not natural to random generation? Another example of this is Hyponia. Again, bring up the galaxy map and search for the system Hyponia AA-A space G2. You will notice, like Col 70, that the area is permit locked. Expeditions to this area of space were conducted between 3301 and 3303. The conclusion of these expeditions is that this area of space forms a perfect sphere in the galaxy map, using the permit lock to mark out this sphere's extremities. With this example, it is unknown what these types of permit locks are hiding until Frontier choose to give us the ability to subvert them. Also of note in this location of space is a Crash Federation ship with a package of intelligence data. Another possible procedurally generated example of this is the NGC 3199 Nebula. Bring up the galaxy map, search for the NGC 3199 Nebula, filter out all the stars but the K, M, L, T, Y and Proto classes of stars. This, as described to me as Pandora's box, is not on current maps of the real world sky. Yes, this could have been manually inputted by the devs as some kind of fine tuning for the systems around the nebula, but I have not seen this kind of symmetry around a nebula before that was not included as part of a real world stellar mapping project. Although this area is not permit locked, if the devs chose to manually craft this location, then the next question you may ask is why? There are many such locations out in the galaxy that form shapes. I'll let you do some digging for yourself to see if you can find them. The person who brought this theory to me surmises that this group
theorises that these clusters have significance in the field of exploration. One of them seems to be aiming through the Fargoid territory around Maya, but there was no conclusive evidence, at least at the time. Tonight we stumbled on one behind the Guardian bubble past Gamma Velorum, and it lines up with Sol. This might very well be a framework of some kind that points things out throughout the galaxy. After seeing the formation of stars at the Pandora's box cluster, I believe it.
Basically, these researchers believe that these shapes point to either future content or things that are hidden within the game. These shapes, all leading to Soul, may have some significance to this game, and the devs are either adding in these clues by drawing lines in the galaxy with stars, or are using pre-made stellar cartographic data and placing objects within their path. My take on this is this. Any such systems that are part of any kind of real-life galactic observation project are there because we know they are there in real life, and the devs included them because of this. This is not to discredit this theory, I just think it is important to add this. The one at Col 70 and the one that was known to me prior to this conversation in Hyponia indeed are mysterious. The permit locks in Col 70 are probably because of Thargoid future content. This has been confirmed through the mystery surrounding the Thargoid probe, Thargoid sensor and the map rooms. The Hyponia permit lock is as mysterious as what David Braben, all hail his blessed name, had for lunch last night. My guess on it is simply future content. I have no conclusive evidence to suggest anything other than the permit locks are there and they want pilots to stay out of these locations until the time is right. As for the possibility of the devs using the two mass cylinders and other seemingly uniform collective of stars to point out some hidden meaning, this is possible, but other than the permit locks in some of these areas, we have no conclusive evidence to suggest they are doing this, or they are not doing this. I guess only time will tell us the answers to these questions. For further coverage on this topic, please follow the link to the channel above. This is the original source of this theory. Regardless of your opinion on this topic, it is an interesting subject to study. Exploring all paths is what will get us to the duel. Go take a look and support these guys for their extensive work on this subject. Thank you for the watch. I would like to thank the official members of the channel, David Gate, Ahsoka Ashla Tanyo, Swifto Scythe, Ministry of Magic Department of Mysteries, Patrick Green, and the Wandering Reapers gaming community. If you would like to back the channel in this way and get some exclusive videos in return, then please follow the membership options below or in the homepage of the channel. If you would like to leave a one-off tip to back the channel, then follow the Ko-fi link below. Please remember to like this video if you enjoyed it and hit the bell and turn on all notifications if you wish to receive reminders as to when my videos go live. Until next time, Commanders, 07.